Perfect. Yeah, Padma, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you, I am consciously avoiding these ifs and buts in my life, and the words, the selection of words, the scrutiny of words that I am using when as I talk. I give importance to it. I focus, and I understand what I'm talking now. Like, I'm very careful in the selection of words, which I have learned from you, and I've also observed that it is very powerful.
Can you share some of the experiences, at least one or two of them?
Experiences in the sense, like, uh, in my day-to-day life, uh, I it I do not know if I can. This is very personal, like, but still,
Hmm.
when I talk to my daughters, when I tell them, I used to always in their language, I was nagging them, do this, do that, like, I was more, but then that was because they have crossed a certain age where I feel I never, all these days, I never felt that uh, my words, I should, because I was just throwing out my words, like what I have been doing from the beginning. So that was on a constant basis. I was just using the words mindless, in the sense, by habit. I say, don't do this, don't keep this. You have to get up in the morning, fold this. So all this was, but then I realized that even when they say, "Yennam," they have made me understand that they have crossed an age where this looks very petty to them. But in spite of this, I was continuing. But then after attending your session, and the few words that I have learned from you, from the very limited sessions that I have attended from you, I have grasped, feeling that I now tell them, the way I address them, the way I talk to them is, I prefer that you don't do this. I prefer this will be better. And that I am able to see an alternative, no exaggeration. They are, I am able to see, whatever I want, I'm able to see them effortlessly, like, uh, it's a beautiful harmony that is happening now. And I'm really happy about it. Absolutely brilliant. No exaggeration. Must be with respect to this 2, 3, or 4 classes I have learnt on these Tuesdays from you, and that's really amazing. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, Padma. That's a big gift for me tonight. My whole intention when I connect with anybody is to uplift that person in every
How
possible
nice.
way.
How nice.
You know,
How nice. Ella, this is honestly, it not only gets, it's not only helping me in getting my, I won't say to the extent of getting my work done, but then I wanted them to be in certain way, but then this comes to me effortlessly by the words that you use. So the choice of words is so powerful, which I never knew. I took it for granted, like that came with an habit, but I never knew the choice, because when I am implementing this, I really feel it's working wonders. It's really amazing. I want to really learn more, and then more such things, and really incorporate that into my life and make it so beautiful.
wow. Hi, good to see you, Pallavi. Good to see you, Ramesh. Good to see you, Rajiv. Would you like to share your experiences
Hello,
so far
Pinaki
with
ji.
attending these sessions?
Um,
Yes, who would like to go? Yeah, Ramesh, you can go ahead. Then we'll come to Pallavi.
sorry,
Yeah.
there was some noise here, so I turn off the mic.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, one thing is I definitely find it uplifting because I think you kind of make me see the truth in my life. Because you are a person of high level of integrity, and that there is a no nonsense approach. And every time you ask us certain questions, like basically, are we being true to ourselves? Are we, when we say something, are we being true to our goals? And it's like a mirror. So for me, I think it's like pulling up my socks kind of session. Whenever I attend your session. And yeah, last week there's a fair bit of running around. In fact, I've fallen a bit behind in even Vikashji's our daily abundance program work as well. But other things in life are suddenly opening up and proceeding. That is one of the reasons why. I mean, in fact, one of the goals that I've put in place for the medium term, which is the registration of one of our sites, and also the progress on the house construction, the funding part of it, that also appears now to be opening up. So that's one of the reasons why I got busy, because I had to process that, negotiate for the registration last week. It'll be happening this week. So actually, the goals that I have stated, I've observed, are coming true. So it's very exciting, of course, but at the same time, I've also realized it is showing me like it's showing up some of my weak areas, which is really good, because if I get to see it, then I can start addressing it. So that is where I am right now. And thank you so
Wow.
much for whatever it is that we're doing over here. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that I will be shifting gears within the next week or so in the area of my career as well. That's where things stand at the moment.
Super, super. So all the good news are pouring in, yeah. So the year is getting ended. You're closing the
Yes.
year with working on the resolutions that you actually took early this year.
Yes, whatever I'd written down over here, even in the book, through the course of these sessions that we've had, the same goals I've also put over there. So yes, it is unfolding. It is a big challenge. It was a big challenge for me, and it'll be a big breakthrough when it happens. At the moment, I still don't know exactly how it's going to unfold, but it appears to be unfolding. So power to that.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ramesh. Again, it's a big gift for me that things are working in your favor, and you're sharing it with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
Prakash. I
Pallavi.
mean, thank you,
And
Pinaki ji.
just a
I'm
second,
so used to that,
Yes.
Prakash ji.
Pinaki ji, a small line also I would like to add after hearing from Ramesh. Like I also feel that my ignorance now here is, like it is now rectified.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Thank you. Thank
We are going to have a fantastic session tonight. I promise that it will be a life turning event for you. I promise you.
I'm looking forward, looking forward.
Yes,
Thank you.
Pallavi.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Pallavi.
Good evening.
Um, for me, actually, after speaking with after Padma ji, it's very difficult to speak because he covers almost all the thing, and I think he reads the minds of everyone and says what any other person wants to say. But to add on to that, I think it had helped me lot of bringing my confidence and help me to be more conscious while speaking. The way I speak, especially आप जो हर बार कहते हैं don't say we, say I. The way you keep on insisting the way how we should communicate our things and first apply it to ourselves and जो हम कहते हैं हम ये करेंगे नहीं ये करना है type the thing you emphasize after the meeting also it's keep on reflecting on my it's just like the ball bounces back now. Maybe I'm not able to change my words so but when I speak after speaking it I realize कि हाँ अगर सर होते तो क्या कहते. How should I put my words? This is the thing that I admire the most. कि your consistency, your determination ki what I love the most of what I love about you is most कि अगर कोई नहीं है तो मैं तो हूं ना. If Friday section is not there then you are still there. the the energy I found in you, the way you speak, how you're always open for camera, how are you there to lend your ears, it's everything is so wow that make me बस एक आपको रिमाइंडर आने की देर होती है पल्लवी is there. That
Wow. So
thank you
much
so
of
much.
blessings.
Have a great day. Yes, sir.
Yes, so much of blessing coming in my way, like priceless, priceless. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Thank you so much for your generosity. Yeah, Rajiv, how are you finding these sessions, attending these sessions?
Uh, Good evening, sir. Uh, these sessions are really very, very inspiring, deep knowledge, and in life we are stuck in so many ways, so many conditions. But what I observed, your perceptions and key guidance and discussing lot of things, really, really very, very helpful for all of us. Those who are joining, it's very, very important. But those sometimes you are giving some recorded video also. Uh, Sometimes I see and I found it very, very helpful later also. Even not joining
Fantastic.
live session, but recorded video you are providing, it's also very, very important.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Rajiv. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can find all recordings which I have done so far. So, and these are all live session recordings, so they are not being recorded with an intention to record them. So naturally, you will find a lot of connection with your own way of living, and that makes all the difference. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for your wonderful words. And Mansi, good to see you. I think you are in my session for the first time in Tuesdays with Life Coach Pinaki.
Yes, yes, yes. How long have you been doing this? Because I did not notice the messages. Maybe I have seen it sometimes, but overlooked. I did not. I was busy because we have this Gita sessions
Yeah.
at 9, so I did not know. So just curious, how long
Yes,
have you
this is
been
the 13th session that we are doing, and
doing? Okay, okay,
the
okay.
topic that we are covering now, these are all connected with each other, and it fundamentally started from session 7 when we started working on our dreams. Like we picked up the top 3 dreams that I want to fulfill in my lifetime. So that is the place where
Wow,
we started
wow, that's awesome.
this whole set of conversation, which is continuing right now. And it is just a weekly session. It's a very, very powerful session. Like as you keep on attending these sessions, your life will transform automatically. And not only that, you are going to do it for others also. That's the best thing that you can gift not only to yourself but for people everyone around you. Yeah. So good. So let's get into the session. And before we do that, you know what we are supposed to do, right? Everybody on camera, quickly, and make sure you look the way you love to look. And yeah, look at the screen and make sure how you're looking. And then you need to look at the camera. So when you look at the camera, you're not supposed to look at the screen. Okay. So everyone on camera, please. Mansi jaldi aa jao. And now what we are supposed to do is super. So now what we are supposed to do is we look at the camera. We'll keep our eyes straight to the camera. We won't blink at all. So we have to make sure our eyes are wide open. And we'll count 1, 2, 3 together. We'll freeze at 3 for a few seconds. Okay. And I'll just take the snapshot. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely awesome. मानसी को थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ा है, तो पहली बार आई हूँ. That's good. Cool. Now let me share my screen and let me give a quick feedback, rather quick summary of where we started. Okay, just give me half a minute. All right, so you can see my screen right away.
Yes.
Super. So on 22nd October, we started with this episode 7. And what we covered on that session is challenge your limiting beliefs with the divine power of law of attraction. Okay. Followed by let's discover who are those 5 legends you wish to become an average of. Okay. So we discovered that you are the average of 5 people you spend most of your time with. So now you make a choice that who are those 5 people or who are those 5 legends you wish to become an average of, followed by science and art of persuasion and how can you make it work in your favor, followed by your dreams deserve your time. So create dedicated me time for your dreams now, followed by CPR for emotional emergency. Take consistent, persistent, and relentless actions, followed by SWAD. Are you a victim of stress, worry, anxiety, anger, and depression? Okay. This was actually a phenomenal session. And tonight, what we are going to cover is very, very interesting. Okay. And what I will do, I will share a document with you because the document that I wrote, I'll just share that same document with you. So that will give you, uh, that will also help you to read the document along with as I keep on talking. Okay. So I will just share it with you. And here we go. And I'm telling all of you will definitely love this topic. And it's a very challenging topic. You may believe or you may not believe. Okay. So just leave us out all the thoughts that you have, that you are going to have when you watch this. Just make sure that you are paying your full attention to this with only one thought. अगर ऐसा सच है तो क्या possible है? If things are like that, then what is possible? Okay. Do not allow any judgment till I end the session. Okay. Don't allow any judgment, just let it flow. Okay. And here we go. Cool. Can you see the document?
Yes, Pinaki.
All of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just increase the size. Super. So the topic that we are covering tonight is you can make your chronic diseases disappear. Okay. Don't allow any judgments to come in between. Just listen to me carefully. See, excellence is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. And this is a slide which I share in all my documents. So what I always focus on in all my training sessions is doing extraordinary things, doing ordinary things that anybody can do, even you can do. But you just need to do it in a different way. That's the extraordinary part. थोड़ा सा वो extra वाला part ही आपको extraordinary बना सकता है. Okay. So excellence is doing it ordinary things extraordinary well. So let us see what are the ordinary things that we can do extraordinary well to make our chronic diseases disappear. If you have any chronic disease, don't worry about it. Let it be there, welcome it, and within a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, 2 to 3 months, you can get rid of many of them, probably all of them. Okay. So just listen to this, whatever I'm saying, and can parallelly read it out. Okay. So here we go. Chronic diseases are the long-term conditions like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, depression, or even dementia. And there are millions of people around us who have already been diagnosed with a chronic condition, who have one of these long-term conditions. Now, let me share a truth about chronic diseases. They are just illusions. They are not real. In fact, diseases don't really exist, at least not in the way that you and I and most of us think they do. Okay. For example, many people around you are likely to have bone-related issues today. It's very common nowadays. This is caused by a low level of calcium in blood that was eventually caused by a low level of vitamin D, a preventable vitamin deficiency. Yeah, it is actually preventable. It just costs only 30 rupees for 4 soft gels today. Vitamin D, 60,000 units, international units. If you buy it from a generic store, and generic medicines are as good as the branded ones. Okay. So I started reading. When I came across this beautiful concept, I started reading about it. Okay. And probably I started reading about these things almost say post-COVID, because that is the time when everybody is talking about immunity, 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 and vitamin D induces immunity. Okay. So that is where it took my interest. So I started reading. I started reading about this vitamin deficiency. And as I started reading, I started to learn a lot of science. A lot of science that I did not learn in my biology classes or from my friends in the medical fraternity. This made a lot of sense to me. So I started applying this science. I started applying it on me, followed by my wife, my parents, and my daughters. I saw the amazing benefits. People started getting better and they living better year after year. There are many lovely people who are struggling with their health, weight problems, joint problems, sleep problems. Despite their best effort, they are unable to make any sustainable changes. Healthy lifestyle is like a swing with disease at the top and optimal health at the bottom. And we are always moving up and down on this swing. Take a family party, for example. You drink too much, you eat too much, you stay up late, you probably start to move up that curve, that swing. However, when you recalibrate your diet over the next couple of weeks, you start to swing back down again. This is happening with you, right? Now, as this continues for a long period, you tell yourself, something is wrong with me. Then one day you go out and meet a physician and he gets you involved in medicine. He gives you a diagnosis of a chronic disease and you declare yourself, I have a disease now. Huh? Listen to this word disease. It's dis-ease. It tells you that I am not at ease, that's it. So to get rid of any disease, the only thing that you need to focus on how you can dislocate this dis from the disease. It's as simple as that. Okay, I'm coming to that. So now let's think of it a little bit like a fire that is being burning in your body for years. It's getting bigger and bigger till it's finally raging out of control. And at that point, you meet your physician and he tells you that you do have a disease. Now, the thing you have to understand is that acute disease and chronic disease are two different things. Okay, these are not my words. I've definitely picked up from some resources. Okay, because I'm not a physician. Acute disease is something physicians are pretty good at. It's quite simple. For example, you have something like a pneumonia. There's a severe lung infection. In your lung, you have the overgrowth of some deadly bacteria. The physicians identify the bacteria. They give you a treatment, typically an antibiotic, and it kills the bacteria. The bacteria dies, and voila, you no longer have a pneumonia. The problem is physicians apply the same thinking to chronic disease. And it simply doesn't work because chronic disease don't just happen. You don't just wake up with a chronic disease one day. Secondly, there are many different causes of chronic disease. By the time your physician gives you that diagnosis, things have been going wrong for a long, long time. And as things go out of control, they show up as signs and symptoms of some disease, some uneasiness, which has gone beyond your control. Let's take the case of type 2 diabetes, which is quite common nowadays. This is one of the typical chronic conditions where blood sugar goes out of control, right? You will say it's a blood sugar problem, but here is you are missing the point. There's a problem with blood sugar in type 2 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes is not a blood sugar problem. Listen to the statement carefully. There is a problem with blood sugar in type 2 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes is not a blood sugar problem. That blood sugar is the symptom, it's not the cause. So if you only treat the symptom, you'll never get rid of the disease. Are you getting my point? I'm repeating these two paragraphs once again. Let's take the case of type 2 diabetes. This is one of the typical chronic conditions where blood sugar goes out of control. You'll say it's a blood sugar problem, but here you are missing the point. There's a problem with blood sugar in type 2 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes is not a blood sugar problem. The blood sugar is the symptom, it is not the cause. So if you only treat the symptom, you'll never get rid of the disease. So when you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you have got a problem with your blood sugar. For the last few years, your body has become more and more intolerant to certain foods. Your body doesn't tolerate refined or processed carbs or sugar at all. And what happens when you take them? Well, it starts putting fuel on that raging fire. Now let's see what started the fire in the first place and what was the fuel that caused it to burn for so long. In most cases of type 2 diabetes, this is something called insulin resistance. Now, insulin is a very important hormone, and one of its key functions is to keep your blood sugar tightly controlled in your body. So let's say you are maintaining an optimal health, like all of us here, and you have a breakfast of, say, a sugary bowl of cereal. What happens in your blood? Sugar goes up, but your body releases a little bit of insulin and it comes back down to normal. So this is a normal situation. In case of type 2 diabetes, as you increase your intake of sugar, you are becoming more and more insulin resistant. That means you need more and more insulin to do the same job. And for all those years, before you get anywhere near a diagnosis, that raised level of insulin is causing you a lot of problems. You could think of it a little bit like alcohol. The very first time you have a drink, what happens? So you have a glass of wine, 1 or 2 sips, maybe half a glass. If you are tipsy, feel a little bit drunk. As you become more seasoned and accustomed drinker, you need more and more alcohol to have the same effect. That's what's going on with insulin in your body now. You need more and more insulin to have same effect, but that insulin itself is problematic. And when the insulin can no longer keep your sugar under control, at that point, you say, oh, I've got a disease. And that point you have type 2 disease. Before that, type 2 diabetes was not there. Okay. Now, what causes this insulin resistance that then causes type 2 diabetes? Let us look at the causes of insulin resistance. Well, there are many different things. It could be diet. It could be that diet for the last 10 years has been full of processed junk food. That could be a cause. What if there is something else? What if it's the fact that you are chronically stressed by your work, lifestyle, and emotions? These are all perceived stress, like seeing your emails and WhatsApp messages, paying attention to every notification on your mobile simply by listening to the ping or tring. Such series of distractions throughout your working hours, waking hours, jitne der tak aap jage hue ho. Such series of distractions throughout your waking hours, sometimes even during your sleeping hours for some of you, raises the levels of cortisol in your body. You know, you put an alarm to get up in the morning, and then it continues for some time. It blows, and you just snooze it. Then it blows again after 10 minutes. What's happening? So cortisol is a stress hormone, and when it's up, automatically raises your sugar, which eventually causes insulin resistance in the long run. Choti choti cheez. Small things that matter. What if it is something else? What if it's the fact that you have been sleep deprived because you are a shift worker or a Netflix addict, looking at your screen for hours when you're supposed to sleep, binge watching? Let me appraise you. In some people, just one night sleep deprivation can give you as much insulin resistance as you are a junk food diet over 6 months. Listen to this carefully. One night's sleep deprivation can take you where? Or how? What is the equivalent? In some people, just one night's sleep deprivation can give you as much insulin resistance as you are on a junk food diet over 6 months. One night's sleep deprivation is good enough. What if it's the fact that as you're getting older, you are losing muscle mass that causes insulin resistance? What if it's something to do with something we call our microbiome? Inside our body, we have trillions of microbes living there. And the balance of those microbes is critical for our overall health. If you have a disruption to that balance, you can induce the overgrowth of certain bacteria which carry something called lipopolysaccharides or LPS. And when it gets in your blood unabated, it causes insulin resistance. So you see, the problem is there are many different causes of insulin resistance. And if you don't address the particular cause, chances are low you will get rid of the disease. And the good news is, if you can identify the cause, something which of course only you can do, nobody else can do that. Because only you know what is your lifestyle, what you are doing with yourself. You may be free from the disease within 6 to 8 weeks, and things are happening like that. There are enough proof nowadays. In fact, you no longer have that disease for the rest of your lifetime as long as you don't pull the trigger that caused it. Let's take another case. What about something else completely unrelated? What about depression? You see, 1 in 5 people are going to get depression at some point in their lives. Now, that is the statistics world over. So what is depression? Is it mentioned in a blood test report, or you get a CT scan to diagnose for depression? Depression is simply the name that we give to a collection of symptoms. Let's take a quick look at what causes depression. We have already covered it last week. Let us look at the medical side of it. Well, we know that many cases of depression are associated with something called inflammation. Now, this information is same as if you stumble over, you fall, you sprain your ankle, it gets red, it gets swollen, it stays warm for a few days. Notice this. This is what inflammation is all about. Well, in case of depression, it's entirely different. This is chronic inflammation. This happens when your body thinks it is under constant attack. People with depression have high levels of inflammation in their body. They did not respond to antidepressants. Now, when you take a step back, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Because an antidepressant is designed to raise the level of a chemical in your brain. But what if the cause of your depression is actually coming from your body and the inflammation that is in your body? Surely it makes more sense to address that. So there is no point addressing a depression. And when antidepressant is not working, what you need to work out is what is causing that inflammation. Now let's see what causes this inflammation. Well, your diet plays a part in that. Your stress levels play a part. Chronic sleep deprivation, physical inactivity, a lack of exposure to sun, which gives you vitamin D, disruptions in the gut microbiome, and so on. So it's almost the same things which are causing depression. Probably the same things which are connected with type 2 diabetes. Remember, chronic diseases are the symptoms, they are not the disease. So the point that I want to make here is, if you do not address the cause, chances are low you will never get rid of your chronic diseases. What about something else? Let's take the case of Alzheimer's. See, we are all living longer now, aren't we? But we are scared. We are scared that as we live longer, as we live older, we may have to live with the devastating consequences of things like Alzheimer's, forgetfulness, loneliness. I'm sure many of us in here have experienced that ourselves within our family. It's a heart-wrenching condition. Well, we have a good news. There's a professor in San Francisco, Professor Bredesen, who is actually demonstrating that you can cure dementia. He's showing that you can reverse cognitive decline in patients with dementia. And how is he doing that? Well, the first thing that he is doing is he's ruling out the presence of dementia or Alzheimer's disease in his patients. Imagine when you're not using these words in your communication, what is happening? We're not bringing that experience in that communication, in the conversation at all. So the first thing that he's ruling out is the presence of dementia or Alzheimer's disease in his patients. Using neuro-linguistic programming techniques, NLP techniques, he is trying to work out what have been the triggers for the symptoms they are carrying. And these symptoms are all independent of each other. They are unique with unique people. They're not the same. He simply identifies them and he corrects every single one of them. That's it. And when he does that, guess what's happening? People, not patients. So he's not treating any of them as patients. People are reversing their symptoms. They're no longer being classified as having dementia. It's a brand new way of looking at disease. My dear angels, that's the inherent power of NLP. And that's why I invite everyone to be a part of my NLP in Action workshop series. It's mind blowing, I promise you. People who are doing it, you can connect with them and ask them what they're going through. So, what I'm fundamentally talking about is it's looking at what is causing your feeling of disease in the first place. Disease is not something that you and I normally think, or that people force us to think, or our physicians force us to think. This is fundamentally all about your body, your mind, your emotions are not at ease, period. And most of the time, it happens because the kind of words you and I use in our conversation, the words you and I use while talking to ourselves. That's why I always insist you not to use any weak words in your conversations. I say don't use the word problem, replace it with challenge. Don't use the word depression, don't use the word stress, don't use the words worry, don't use the word anxiety. Say the same thing without using those words and then see what happens. The moment you stop using those weak words, you will set your minds at ease. That is when the magic starts happening. Your diet, your stress levels, your sleep quality, your physical activity levels, your exposure to environmental toxins, and so on, they are the cause of most of your diseases. Is this starting to sound a bit familiar? As if all these seemingly separate diseases actually at their core share common root causes? You need to update your thinking. Your genetics are not your destiny. Your genes load the gun, but it's not your lifestyle. It's your lifestyle and environment that pulls the trigger. Notice this carefully, what I'm sharing. All these seemingly separate diseases, they look seemingly separate. The dementia is different, type 2 diabetes is different, osteoporosis is different, Alzheimer's is different. They all appear different. Depression is different. But fundamentally, if you notice carefully, at their core, they share common root causes. And the only thing that you need to do is to update your thinking. Your genetics are not your destiny. Your genes load the gun, but it's your lifestyle and environment that pulls the trigger. And lifestyle includes your life as well as style. The way you live, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you think. All these factors that we just discussed, are the factors that basically interact with your genes and determine how genes are expressed. Whether you are in optimal health, whether you have a disease, or whether you are somewhere in between. So we have got to cut them out. That's it, period. My dear angels, some recent research says the new generation of kids are born over past 2 decades have a lower life expectancy than the generation before them. Imagine what I'm talking about. Think about it carefully. You really need to think about it. If you need to fulfill your dreams, the first thing that you need to make sure, you need to ensure that you are healthy in every respect. Body, mind, emotion. If you are not healthy by physically, mentally, and emotionally, if there is any disturbance in the balance, chances are very low that probably you may not be able to achieve your dreams. So step one is make sure that you are healthy. So my dear angels, some recent research says the new generation of kids that are born over past 2 decades have a lower life expectancy than the generation before them. Is this evolution or devolution? What are we talking about? Where are we heading to? It's time to reset our mindset. And actually, if you take a step back, you will agree with me now. NLP or neuro-linguistic programming is the most advanced preventative medicine in its purest form. You take my words. NLP is the most advanced preventative medicine in its purest form. You have got to stop applying 20th century thinking to 21st century challenges. You need to take back the control and empower yourself. Unlearn, update, upgrade, upskill, and upscale yourself in every possible way to stay disease free. If you come to a consciences and do this together with me, I genuinely believe that we can change not only our health, not only the health of our communities, but maybe, just maybe, we could start to change the health of the entire world. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with this new awareness, what do you see possible for yourself now? I'll share this document also with you. Okay. I need to do some corrections. Some grammatical corrections need to be done. I'll do that and share the document with you. Yes, Pallavi.
Yeah, thank you, Pinaki sir. It was really wonderful, and what you just communicated to us, I felt very aligned with it. I want to just share one small story that I have heard many times. Ki there were two group of persons. One group of persons were given the medicine for their treatment, and other one were not given the medicine, but they were pretended to be given medicine.
Yes, yeah, carry on. We can't hear you, Pallavi.
Pardon?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, the other person were pretended that they were given medicine, and they both were asked to do certain set of exercise.
Mm.
So after 15 days, they found the doctors, the scientists who were doing the experiment, they found the person who were pretended to be given medicines were far more better than the person in taking the medicines.
Mm.
So it's about if you think that you are being treated the way anyway you are treated, if you're psychologically, if you're thinking that I am healing, then even without medicine you can be healed. So this
Let
is
me share a secret with you, Pallavi, how things work like that. This is called placebo effect. You have been told that you have been given the same medicine, or probably you have gone through the same surgery, and as you discover that yes, this surgery has been done, and after some time you get back to your normal life. Now, what happens? Let me tell you what happens. And this is an amazing discovery, okay? And I would request each one of you to actually go out and experiment this discovery. इसको जरूर करो, okay? In your city, आपके शहर में, go to a medicine shop which is the largest one. The best place is to go to a distribution house. मेडिसिन के डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स होते हैं ना, उनके बड़े बड़े गोडाउन्स होते हैं. बट अ शॉप इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन, क्योंकि वहां पे सारे रैक्स में सजाया रहता है. They are all been put on the racks. You go to that shop and look at all the racks, all the medicines on the racks. Okay? All those things which you see on the racks, your body is capable of producing them. It's when your body fails to produce them, then you need to supplement your body with that chemical so that the body can cover up that shortage and come back to its normal life. So body has a setback. You supply those chemicals, body comes back to its normal, and then it bounce back. यही process है, setback, come back and bounce back. Now imagine this body that God has given you, the body where you are living. This is where you are living. You are not living in your home, by the way. The only place that you're living is inside your body, because you are a spiritual soul. You are a spiritual being. You are not this body. You are a spiritual. This is your body. So this is my body. You know, I'm not this body. So you are a spiritual being on a human journey on this beautiful planet called Earth. That's why you are ageless. You only travel around the sun so many times, whatever your age is. And you are not old, you are always young. Okay, so like I am 54 years young, and 54 years means I have traveled around the sun 54 times, and I will complete my 55th round on 15th January. So when you start thinking in this way, क्या होगा? बॉडी को आप महसूस ही नहीं करने दे रहे हो कि उसका एजिंग हो रहा है. The signals that you're sending to your body. Now imagine your body is the world's best pharmacy. All those medicines that you are seeing on those shelves, your body is producing them at the quantity when it is required, and it takes it and delivers it at the place where it is supposed to be delivered, and it does the work which is supposed to be done so that you stay disease free. Because humans only did the discovery, right? उन्होंने research किया, they discovered that it is because of the shortage of this particular chemical we are feeling this way. Like they are talking about antidepressant. तो आपका body में antidepressant तैयार होता है. It is your body is already producing it whenever it is required, and it is delivering it where it is supposed to be delivered to take care of things. When you do not allow your body to live a normal life, it starts showing signs and symptoms. So objective is to identify why this sign and symptom is coming up. Now imagine what happens when you go with these placebo experiments. The message that you're giving your signal, the message that you're giving your brain, your subconscious is that whatever shortage was there in the body of this chemical, it has been supplied. So now your body starts believing it. And as it starts believing in it, it starts coming back into action. And as it comes back into action, it bounces back into life. And as you rightly said, they have a better lifestyle than the people who have actually taken the medicine. This is because in their case, it all happened naturally. And when you come back, when you bounce back naturally in your life, it is something which is happening inside you, out of your own control, of your own mechanisms, own physiology and psychology. You are not dependent on any external influence. A medicine is an external influence. You are not dependent on it. So, you got the point? Superb. Yeah, who would like to share next?
Yeah, it's I would like to go.
Yeah, Padma.
In connection with this, I just wanted to also add on that this is something similar to the theory which says that how associations, between stimuli, and responses, how it is learned. That Pavlov's theory, how a dog, just by hearing the bell. So this is almost these are all learned behaviors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So very, very true. What you say is so learning, preparing to learn and learning, that as you very rightly said, that will really help us to
Help
cross
me.
the disease that we
Help
have.
me.
It's a conditioning to your
Help
mind.
me. Absolutely. It's all about changing that condition that you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
done for so many years. उसको
yes,
थोड़ा सा change करिए. See, the moment you catch it, you are in control.
yes, yes,
It's just catching a bug. Imagine there's a bug which is flying around in the room, and you're finding it very difficult to catch it, but it is irritating you. It is creating all those nonsense, which is not allowing you to sit sit peacefully.
yes,
Now you'll make all the attempts to either to put it away from the room or catch it and kill it. These are two options you have. The point is you need to identify that. What is that which is creating all this nonsense? Once you identify that, the next job is very simple. Yeah,
Yes, beautiful. Yeah.
cool. Any questions? Any more feedbacks? Let us have a 1 minute feedback from everybody before we close the session. So yeah, Rajiv.
It's very message, deep message. What we have discussed, like many times we find that only problem is there, but uh, we see the solution here and there. I think
I
in
use
the
I.
discussion, why
Use
yeah,
I. Yeah,
what
first
I
person.
observe, what I observed is all the problems and all the things are there in our mind only. Through our
My
mind, we
mind.
can cure many things.
My
My mind,
mind.
yeah,
My
my
mind.
mind. Like,
आपका.
like
हाँ.
जैसे कोई जगह है तो डिस्कशन में मैंने आई ऑब्जर्व ना, जैसे कि कोई चीज ऐसी है जिसको हम खुद भी क्योर कर सकते हैं ओनली बाय थिंकिंग। डिप्रेशन हो गया या कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है, हाँ, वी डोंट डिपेंड ऑन द medicine itself. Through our mind, my mind, we can cure the disease also. Whatever the intensity, whatever the things are there, we can
Yes.
cure. I can cure. I can cure. It's very deep message, sir.
Yeah. Focus on first person. Focus on yourself. Always, whenever you are sharing your insights, your takeaways, use the word I, me, my, myself. You imagine इन चारों शब्दों के अलावा और कुछ है नहीं तो whatever you have to say आप इन्हीं शब्दों का चयन करेंगे इन्हीं शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करेंगे लाइक मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है मैंने ऐसे नोटिस किया मैंने ऐसे ऑब्जर्व किया है
And one more thing, मैंने observe किया कि there is power in words. हम मैं जो बोलता हूँ उसका इफेक्ट होता है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
और ये पर्सनली मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि कुछ समय पहले जब मैं एक वेल सेटल्ड जॉब में था तो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंटली मैं बोलता था, ठीक है, और मैंने जो बोला उसे मैंने करा, नहीं तो मैं बोला नहीं। बट अभी अ, थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम होती है, मेनली उतना कॉन्फिडेंट मैं नहीं बोल पाता हूँ या उतना नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, ठीक है, तो वर्ड्स में थोड़ा सा ये होता है कि कुछ मैनिपुलेटिंग वर्ड्स यूज करता हूँ, ठीक है, उतना कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो पाता। आई थिंक इफ वी डू power on the words, I I do power on the words, then I can cure it.
एब्सोल्युटली सी आप ना खाली अपने ऊपर फोकस रखिए देखिए सब कुछ आपके कंट्रोल में आ जाएगा what happens that you and I are habituated to use the word we in our conversation उसकी वजह से क्या होता है सारा ध्यान बाहर रहता है अंदर आता ही नहीं लाइक प्रोबेबली हो सकता है कि अब पहले शायद आप ऐसे बोलते हैं और नॉर्मली आप ऐसे बोलते हैं कि जब भी ऐसी सिचुएशन आती है तो हम लोग क्या होते हैं वी लूज आवर कॉन्फिडेंस और या वी डोंट फील कॉन्फिडेंट बट बात वी की है ही नहीं तो naturally it is not working for you because you are telling the universe कि I don't know whether I'm a part of that we or not but I'm generalizing it सबके साथ ऐसा होता है तो मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हो रहा है तो ये नेचुरल है और इसी को चलने दो तो यूनिवर्स भी बोलता है तथास्तु तो रहो तुम ऐसे तुम्हें कॉन्फिडेंट होने की जरूरत नहीं क्योंकि यू आर यूजिंग द वर्ड वी सी यूनिवर्स इज समथिंग उससे आप जो मांगोगे वो उसी को तथास्तु बोलेगा so the words that you see every word has its own power that is why they have their own meanings they have their own vibrations You have to take control of that, and the easiest way to do it is to use the words that you love to use. Replace the word problem with opportunity. देखो क्या होता है. मान लो ये you have never heard this word called problem, या आप जिससे बात कर रहे हो उसने ये शब्द सुना ही नहीं. अब मैं कैसे उसको एक्सप्लेन करूं कि क्या हो रहा है मेरे साथ. So then you will find it funny because you get into a creative mode. Now you have to create the same experience. Otherwise उसको आप समझा नहीं पाओगे तो आगे बात बनने वाली है ही नहीं. अब उसको ना प्रॉब्लम समझ में आता है तो मैं क्या करूं, कैसे समझाऊं कि व्हाट आई एम गोइंग थ्रू. उसको स्ट्रेस समझ में नहीं आता, मैं उसको कैसे समझाऊं व्हाट आई एम गोइंग थ्रू. उसको वरी समझ में नहीं आता, मैं उसको कैसे समझाऊं व्हाट आई एम गोइंग थ्रू. And when you look forward to that, you notice that you are using your creative mind, creative side of the brain. And when you use your creative side of the brain, you start creating things which you never saw earlier possible. It works like magic. आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. Notice this, every sentence that you are saying is a creation. आपको खाली उस क्रिएशन को बदलना है. You are the creator of every sentence that you are speaking out. So if I can create this, I can create something else also. It's all in my control. The point is whether I am in my control or not. अपना कंट्रोल अपने पास लेना पड़े. Yeah, got that, Rajiv? Is possible?
Yeah, sure, sir. And
Absolutely.
one more thing I observe, that you are telling that aging is only in our mind. Even after, see, I'm in mid age, so I'm observing that whatever my body, mind actions were previously, there is some lacking there. Hmm. After 40, but I came across that, oh, what I discuss with my friends, they are telling the same thing, but they are not giving much importance. They are just going in flow. But this is giving some impact on my mind. Okay, I'm getting easy. Oh, what happened? I'm not so fast, not so much thing. Oh, what I was doing previously. No. So what I observed also that go with the flow.
Yeah, as simple. As simple. कल क्या होगा किसको पता?
इसको पता.
Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? You don't even know what's going to happen after 5 minutes. आपको पता था? Did you know that what you're talking about? आप यही सब बातें करने वाले हैं 2 मिनट पहले भी आपको पता था.
नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं.
That's it. So go with the flow. As simple as you are rightly said, Rajiv. Whatever you are saying, just do that. That's it. Just be consciously aware that what are you saying, what are you thinking, what are you doing, what are you talking. Just be consciously aware of it. That's it. You don't need to work hard to live your life the way you love to live it. You just use all the loving words in your conversation. देखो क्या होता है. You'll start living your life full of love. All right, fantastic session. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ramesh.
Yeah. One question before I indicate my response. What is the best way to that you are in control of your own self, your goals, etc.?
Use
Because
the words
when you
that you.
said,
It's all about words. Play with the words. Focus on the words
okay.
that you're using in your communication. That's it. That's the easiest way to do it.
So one big takeaway for me from this session was when you said 1 night of inadequate sleep is equal to, what was it again? I think either was
6
sugar
months
or
of eating 6 months of junk food
junk
every
food.
day.
Yes, that is amazing. I mean, for me,
It is.
Because I think that is my biggest aging. I mean, most people think I'm 15 years younger than I am, but I know that because of the sleep situation, suddenly the body has started aging. Though I don't actually feel old. In fact, at the moment, it is becoming younger because I'm beginning to exercise and I've started this affirmation programs, etc. But sleep is the one area which is still um, a big area of improvement. It's improving already, but definitely I can improve it much further because I know that if I sleep well, I wake up feeling, like a breeze is blowing through you, or wake up feeling light. Your eyes are really fresh. You can see extra clearly and things like that. I can lift weights like a 20-year-old once again. So I'm beginning to do that. But yes, this is a big takeaway from me because I that is a kind of
Wonderful. Replace the word
yeah,
old from your
a
age.
bell. Beg your pardon?
Replace the word old from your age. Say 20
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
40 years young. I'm 55
Yes,
years young. And I don't
yes,
even use the word years. I have traveled around the sun so many times. That's it.
yes, yes. Yeah, I actually feel quite young, and so sometimes I think I'm a bit too young for my own good because people take me for granted sometimes.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
but anyway, the good things happening there, so that was a big takeaway. But the bottom line is, I do believe that whatever this is received wisdom, of course, that whatever I think is actually a pre-program that comes with my prarabdha karma for this life. So if I can change my thoughts, I can change my karmas. Of course, I mean, I think it is easier said than done. So one has to really work on being dharmic. I have to work on being dharmic every day so that, I earn my own keys to modify my karmas, or, to address it in a way that I kind of just flow through it without any resistance. I have to learn what I have to learn, whatever lessons I've come to learn in this life, and I'm definitely learning them now, and I'm shifting gears. So it is the whatever diseases that we experience is because of many times if you look at your health, it's because of your metabolism. Your metabolism is going for a toss. Be it
I,
diabetes, be it
I,
heart.
I don't use your, don't use our, say I. मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
Right. So my metabolism is going for a toss if I don't take care of my own health, and that is where such chronic diseases have a chance to show up if they do. So if I address these kind of issues and the best way to address them really is to address the way you think. And sleep, of course, is a key factor for me. So that was a big takeaway. And I think whatever you discussed today was a very strong kind of gong, a wake up call that it is possible and it is quite easy if we just change the way we approach our day. That was a very powerful takeaway for me. So thank you for that,
Super. Thank you.
Pinaki.
Thank you, Ramesh. Let me give you a beautiful secret.
हाँ
मैं
जी.
आपको बहुत तगड़ा सीक्रेट दे रहा हूँ. How do you know that you are doing a good karma or not?
It makes me.
I will answer this
Wait, wait,
to
wait, wait,
Rajiv's
Padma.
case.
Wait, wait, Padma. So how do you know at any given point of time whether you are doing something good or not? How do you know?
I believe if it makes another's life better, or if it makes another person better, happier, and you can feel it. I mean, it is not selfish. It is
Okay.
you just intuitively know it's the right thing to do.
Now let me tell you the simplest way to do it. Just check your breathing.
Mhm.
When
Wow.
you are doing all the good things, you will breathe normal.
Yes.
You don't need to look for
Wow.
any other proof.
I never thought about that. You're really clever, aren't you? I never thought about that. That really is so true, isn't it? This is such an easy way to make out. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Pinaki.
Good. Thank you so much. Yeah, Padma. Before we close the
Yeah,
session, we'll close the
surprisingly, I
session
had
in 3 minutes.
sur-
Yeah.
yeah, surprisingly, I also had the same thing to say. I don't know what a coincidence. And added to it, I also wanted to say that, see, the awareness, the moment Rajiv is uh, full of awareness, that is the first step to change, right? So, and I'm sure he's recognized the issue and he's already making progress. This is what I
Yeah.
wanted to
Absolutely. absolutely. Priceless. It is showing up in his words. So
Yes.
well, I have listened to Rajiv 3 weeks ago. I am listening to him today. He is a different person altogether. The way he's speaking, it has a lot of weight today.
Yes. He's got that urge, that uh, to understand, and then he has realized it. That awareness is what phenomenal, which I really feel.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thanks, sir. Thank you.
All right. Let's hear from Mansi before we close the session.
So I attended for the very, very first time, and I am so grateful I did because I loved every word and every share, including all the script that you have brought for us today, so thoughtfully curated. And I felt so aligned basically because currently you know, right, Pinaki, we are watching this Rewire series, and I'm a big fan of this book, and it's like a bible. I keep it at my bedside, like you can heal your life. And we have been like there is a documentary called Heal, so I have watched that. So I have been aware of this wisdom for a while. But yeah, today the way you brought it to us, it was very, very beautiful. And it was like, again, like I believe in this power of repetition. When things come to us, like from different sources again and again, I feel it's like a message, like it's like a tap by the universe, like, see, you have to work here. So it was like that for me. So, and wonderful. Thank you for creating this for us. And I'm really looking forward to the next session.
Cool. Super. So it's a wonderful session, and I'll share the recording soon as it's available. I'll also share the PDF file, which I just read with you. All right. And you can put your comments after watching the videos again, once again, and going through the PDF file. And do encourage others to participate in these programs. Attending it live and listening to the recordings are not the same experiences. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for this wonderful evening and gifting this wonderful evening to me. Like I need people to listen to me. So you are those great listeners who made my life different tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks. Thanks, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Pinaki.
Pinaki. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you so much.